just want to talk a little bit about the Warmachine ion thrusters for the hand and feet for flight capabilities, or lift capabilities, as I like to refer to it. I don't want full flight. It's just, a proof of concept type of thing. It's just to show that I can do it. I've said this probably many times before. This whole Warmachine, Hulkbuster armor thing, it's just for practice. It's just for my engineering practice. That's all it is. It just, hey, I have the idea. Can I implement it and make it happen? Because there's a lot that goes with the Warmachine project. For example, there's hardware, there's software, and then there's the man-to-machine interface capabilities. You gotta fuse them too. You gotta be able to fuse man and machine together to get a certain outcome. And just, only a couple basic components of the Warmachine armor. First is the armor itself, the armament, the material the materials to make it, so you have some type of protection. Then there's the power source, which is what the Ward JT is for. So you gotta have a way of powering the suit. You gotta have some type of power source for it, so it can run. You might even incorporate stuff like thermoelectrics, since there actually is gonna be a human being in the suit. It only makes sense to take advantage of that and use that to power the suit. What else? The lift capabilities. More just a proof of concept, because it's like, you got a suit of armor. That's one thing. The power source does not matter much unless you have stuff you need to power. So obviously, the heads-up display and whatnot, you need power source for that. You need power source for the lift capabilities. You need power source for if you want to give the suit the extra strength, because you're going to need the extra strength. If you're going to give the suit flight capabilities or lift capabilities, you got to have extra strength. I think I mentioned that in videos before, that you got to have extra strength. You got to have the muscle enhancement capabilities built into the suit in order to handle stability, to be able to control the directions in which the thrust that comes out of your hand, your palm, and the sole of your foot. You have to be able to control these things. You don't want to just be flailing around and spinning around and being tossed around like a rag doll. You want to have full control of that. Then of course you need this, control system to control when the lift capabilities activate or deactivate. All these little details. But the main thing is, it's just engineering practice, so I can practice that the concept of taking different engineering elements and putting them all together into one project. I do that a lot because some stuff requires more than one thing. Like, you could create a mechanical device, but then you want to add some electrical component to it, so then you can't just use only mechanical engineering for it. You also have to throw in electrical engineering, so you need that. Sometimes you might need to give it some type of artistic flair, like some type of image, like it has to look like something. So then you need to be a design engineer. You have to be able to design it. You have to be able to create a artistic image of what you want, or what anyone else wants you to create. So I like doing stuff like this, where it's like, I'll take something that seems almost impossible, look at it, look at how I could make it possible, and then research and work on towards coming up as close to as possible. Now, but when it comes to a practice like this, like projects, which is why I call them projects, is the goal to figure out how it's possible to make something as opposed to being able to actually make it. My main goal is not to make something. I would love to. That's always fun. I love making things. I've made a lot of things in my life, but it's not necessary to make it. It's just to come up with how to make it. First off, you start off with an idea, then you come up with a plan. You do your research. You figure out how it could be done. You figure out how it could be done, and then you make it. Just like this. Like somebody came up with this, and they took the time to make it. Same as this. Someone took the time and made it. You know what I mean? This guy right here, for example, he took his time. He did some research. Watching the movies and whatnot. Probably watched some tutorials online on how to make most of these things, and he created this, which is pretty good. I like that, and this took some time for him. He said it took him like about a month just to get this far, and he still has a lot of work to do. So yeah, I consider he had to learn electronics in order to do the electrical aspects of this. He had to have money to buy the materials and to create this. Some of these parts look like they're probably some connects or something, but he took the time and he created this. And look, he's in a room. So you don't need a multi-billion-dollar facility or lab or something like that to like Tony Stark and stuff like that to create anything like this. It's all about creativity and imagination, and just the ability to be like, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this. It's just taking time. Think about it. It took him about a month to get this far. You know what I mean? Even in the movies, with the whole idea of like Tony Stark and whatnot, it took time. A lot. When he created all those suits, it took him time. It took him months, weeks, to work on it. Granted, he had the resource, so when he had an idea for something, he could build it right there and then. If he had a modification for one of his suits and turned the suit into like a space suit or into a underwater suit, he already had the basics. He already had the layout for a regular suit, and then he just wanted to add the modifications to it. So then he created the modifications, put it all together, and build it all at once. You gotta love his garage. We all dream to have a garage like that. But I would like it to. If I had it, things would be different right now. But I'm doing what I can with what I got, how I got. So I'm slowly building stuff. When it comes to the suit, I would like to create the whole thing. That'd be cool and all. But more people are more interested in the lift or flight capabilities of the suit, less of the armor protection of the suit, and anything else, like, the heads-up display, so the technological aspects of it, some people will be interested, but, just the simplest thing that people care about is a suit you could put on and fly. That's all people really care about. Like, that's the only thing people think that is mainly impossible. It's like, it's not hard to design and build a suit because everybody on YouTube builds these suits, these costumes, right? They use for Comic Cons and whatnot. So creating the suit is not really the most complicated thing to do. Whether it be out of metal, plastic, whatever, fiberglass, whatever you use to build it, it's not complicated to build the suit. The suit can be built, so that's not an issue. Power source. There's all types of portable power sources. There's even videos on YouTube that show you how to create, so-called free electricity and whatnot. And these are, some good things. It's like a good way of creating power. You can use solar panels, thermal electricity, so forth and so forth. There's many different ways you can create power. And you'll figure out some method of producing enough power to power the suit. So power is not too much of a, too much of a stretch of an imagination, or too impossible to create a power source. We have power everywhere, right? Even if it means you have to plug yourself up to a car battery, or plug yourself up to a house outlet in order to achieve flight, go for it, right? I'm not saying do it, don't do that. Parents probably won't like that, but hey, power is everywhere. All right, so power is not hard to create. So then it comes down to the ability to fly, because electronics is electronics. There's some people who are really good with programming and Arduino and Raspberry Pi and so forth and so forth, all these things, so they could create all these little systems, these embedded systems that they can embed into the suit and gives them full control of the suit. So that's also not impossible. So that's already capable. So all that right there is easy to do. That's not impossible. It's just a matter of having money and time. Flight capability, that requires some more work, because that requires physics among other things. You got to know thrust, weight ratio, all that good stuff. Aerodynamics. You got to be able to produce the thrust, and so forth and so forth. So let's see. So I have a small video here which will give a basic idea. Basically, this video is mainly all about this video. Pretty much. Gotta let it load up. I'm gonna speed through right quick. Somebody created, obviously an ion thruster, pretty much, and you see how he's using it. He pushes the button. You see it's thrusting, electrical power, it's creating an ionic force. So that's electrically charged air particles being fired at the napkin, paper, whatever it is. He's over there twisting it to power it on, off, and to increase and decrease the power output. Here's some more Connect stuff. So you see somebody created something like this at home and whatnot. And imagine condensing all this and put a little more work and to give it a little bit more power. All this combined will create, you see, some type of thrust, some type of lift. So then you add this to the suit and you'll be able to fly. Or lift, not necessarily fly. You won't be flying Mach 5 or anything like that. That's way in the future type of stuff. All I care about is what is possible at the current time. I'm trying to take cosplaying, as it were, to the next level, basically. That's my thought process. It's like, all right, people out there are already making these little Warmachine and Iron Man suits and stuff, and Halo suits. Everybody's making all these suits, but none of these suits can fly. Now, some people are being creative and they're adding, some elements to it, some real creative elements. They're creating sound effects and the mask going up and opening and closing, all this stuff. And there you go, all this good stuff. So that's cool that like this guy, for example, you see you got this little arc reactor that lights up. You got the repulsor that lights up. This cable lights up when he pushes back on this lever right here, and this activates the sound effect. And you see how there's a board right there and battery pack, so that right there makes the sound and noise and controls everything. So you're seeing some people are putting the time and effort and some creative engineering into making their costume more than just very creative set of plastic, as it were. So instead of just being a costume and looking like an Iron Man suit, for example, it will actually function like an Iron Man suit. The only thing is they still don't have flight capabilities. They don't have Jarvis in the suits. I still would love to see that somebody can literally like give commands to their costume and be like, Jarvis this, Jarvis that, and it'll actually respond. So that will make it more cool. That would be a cool cosplay right there. You take it all the way. You got this, you got that, You got drivers up in there. You can communicate with. Imagine being able to use the system that's in the helmet to communicate with your cell phone, or communicate with your smartphone. That'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of cool. You could take the costume off, right? And you're able to control the suit through your smartphone. Because there's actuators and stuff in there so you can actually move the suit around. Not necessarily have it run around and control it like the way Tony did in the Iron Man 3 movie, where he was controlling the Iron Man suit. But at least you can move bits and pieces, have the helmet open and close just by using your smartphone. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, that's just some geekiness right there. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of the video.